Sierra, we are heading back to the streets of New York City for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which showed off its new trailer. We're going to take some time in this video to go through kind of like where we left off with a lot of these characters, what we think is going to be coming in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and primarily what it means for Matt Murdock and the MCU as a whole. And Sierra, I think we have to start with our boy Matt, who looks like he's romancing Karen Page. Like there's a lot of hugging and kissing going on in this. So their relationship is taking the next step. Yeah, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Except when something happens to Matt at like the 23-second moment of this trailer where like initially I thought like he got shot. Like they're slow dancing and then but then he kind of puts his hand to his ear as if maybe he's hearing something that's really disturbing to him because, of course, he has his heightened senses. Did that kind of disturb you the way that it threw me for a loop?
It sets up the dynamic of the relationship, which it always has, which is like, you know, the infidel. It's like the classic superhero thing of the intrusion of your other life on anything that's going to make you even a little bit happy. I mean, that's why she moved away. And that's why, with the death of Foggy and that breaking the dynamic between them. And now it seems like they found their way back to each other. And I mean, hey, that's an excellent segue to where did we leave off with Foggy?
Yeah.
We left off with the end of Foggy.
Yeah, I thought so. Right. Like Foggy Nelson's dead. The internet spent plenty of time during season 1 of was he really dead? Did he fake it? You know, what's going on kind of thing. This trailer comes right out and they're just like, boom, he's back. Here he is. So vote now, flashback or he's actually alive.
You can't trust IMDb saying that someone's on a cast list anymore or not on a cast list anymore because, hey, guess who, in case just to peek behind that curtain, guys, guess who updates that cast list?
Agents, the agents of the actors,
agents, the producers of the actual movie themselves.
Yeah,
so you know,
the actors themselves.
You never really know until it's released itself.
I'm voting flashback because I would be so disappointed if they went for that shock value opening scene of season 1 and Foggy gets assassinated by Bullseye. You know, to bring him back and we hear the heartbeat slowing down in Matt's ear, you know, and he loses his best friend. And if they backtrack on that, while granted, I understand almost every comic book property under the sun backtracks on that. Like this should be an Uncle Ben type thing. This should be a death that sticks and teaches our hero a lesson.
Well, here's my question for that then. It's, do you feel like the dynamic of the cast, the dynamic of the show was harmed by not having Foggy in it anymore?
Not in the first season because I like the dynamic that Frank Castle brought, right? And his push and pull with Matt Murdock about, hey, you should cross the line and you should become Daredevil full throttle, whereas Foggy seemed to be the one that was always sort of pulling Matt back and trying to be his moral compass. No Frank Castle in season 2 because our boy is making the leap to the big screen where he is going to fight alongside Peter Parker in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So I do think that a lot of the events from this season 2, which again comes out on March 24th, is going to set up some of the stuff we're going to see later on in the summer with Spider-Man Brand New Day. But do I want Foggy to come back? I mean, yeah, he's crucial to Matt Murdock's story. You know, he's integral to the Daredevil myth, and so maybe they could find some way to resurrect him. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The other thing I wanted to bring up to you, which I think is going to be a major topic of season 2, which to me is getting a little bit sticky because of current events, is this anti-vigilante task force. And the anti-vigilante task force marching into, well, first off, in a lot of the shots, you'll see that it looks like that they are being embraced by the public. There's a shot of one of the anti-vigilante task force folk who are sporting the Punisher logo, like high-fiving a kid and then, you know, interacting with the crowds. And hey, everyone loves the fact that Mayor Fisk wants to take down vigilantes.
In New York?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't seem like that's going to hold. So how do you feel about that through line, the potential subplot?
I think for me, well, I would think what it obviously is like commentary on that cult of personality. I think that what was so powerful, and it was it's such a direct commentary on life because the truth, like the reality and the truth of the Punisher, and it's an unfortunate thing, is that white supremacists have taken on, in the same way that they've taken on a lot of Norse mythology iconography as representative of them. They've taken on the Punisher as something that represents them. This is something that I know is interesting because of how antithetical it is to the perspective of this character in many ways. And so I think what they did with him in what they did with him in his reaction to this, and the way that the way that those people felt like he would respond to them versus how he actually did, I felt was such a powerful commentary. And so what I wonder is, it seems to me that they would continue in that vein. However, how is that going to feel in this present moment? I don't know.
That was honestly one of my favorite moments in the first season, when Frank confronts those cops and is like, I hate the fact that you're wearing this symbol. Like, you don't understand at all what this symbol means. And I think that there's a lot of great instances over the course of comic history where the symbol of the hero is adapted by the wrong type of person and manipulated by the wrong type of person to mean something that it isn't. And with a vigilante like Punisher, who, resorts to lethal violence for his own means, for what he thinks is the right way to do it, the interpretation of the Punisher skull can be several things to several different people. So I love that the first season approached that and had someone as amazing to me as John Bernthal, who is unbelievably great as Frank Castle. Like, I think he's phenomenal. I'm so glad that they touched on that, and it really looks like they're going to lean pretty heavily into it with season 2, with all the footage that we see of the AVTF in that in the trailer. I do want to see, just to jump ahead slightly, how our spandexed boy is going to deal with Frank Castle when Spider-Man and the Punisher cross paths, because he very clearly sort of toes the same line as Matt Murdock. And it's like, hey, Frank, dial it back anytime that they've crossed paths in the comics. And I can't wait to see their dynamic play.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how this character will have evolved. If the impact of seeing his his symbol being hijacked will affect the way he views himself and his work. And I think, and dealing with a kid, he's still like, Peter is, Tom Holland's a grown man, but Peter is a kid. Peter is still a kid.
Sure.
And it's also a very different tone and a very different energy. And also he'll be joining the Bear co-star in the MCU, our friend Yvonne, as the Thing.
Oh, Moss Barrack. Yeah, that's right. So there's a lot of characters that are going to be popping up. We just have to get, how do we get Jeremy Allen White into the MCU? I mean, I know he's going to play.
Ayo, that's who I want.
Oh, yeah. She was supposed to be in Thunderbolts, but actually, she was supposed to be Julie Louis-Dreyfus's sidekick. Eventually, we're going to get the entire Bear cast into the MCU at some point.
I mean, hey, actor jury duty.
Right, exactly. Let's discuss one of my favorite returns to the Daredevil universe, Miss Jessica Jones.
I was going to say, do we have the same fave? Do we have the same favorite Defender?
Of course we do. I mean, we're gradually collecting Defenders. We have to get Luke Cage, and do we have to get Iron Fist back? I don't know. We'll see. See if Iron Fist shows up. But Mike Coulter says he wants to play Luke Cage again.
I would love to see that, and I would love to see the dynamic with Jessica Jones evolve more. When we left off with the Defenders, they were sort of like, it was that interesting sort of like, we're exes but we're not energy. They've really returned her also to a status quo. And so I would be curious. I think Iron Fist was a little dated when they made it. I don't know if that character, I'm sure the actor is a lovely person. I don't know if that character needs to be returned in this present moment.
Right. Yeah. No, I would.
But hey, sometimes it sucks to be left out of the group chat.
But by bringing Jessica back, what this is doing, and what this whole show is doing, leading into Brand New Day, is solidifying the street level, corner of the MCU. And we have Wilson Fisk, Mayor Fisk, continuing to grab for power, which I think is going to be an important part of that development, which could bleed over into certain shows. Like, we've been hearing that there could potentially be a Midnight Suns show down the line, because Marvel has not figured out what to do with Mahershala Ali and Blade, right? So while we're all building to Doomsday on the feature film side of it, Daredevil Born Again is doing a great job of establishing the street level side of it. And Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be establishing the street level side of it. So maybe that's where Moon Knight and Blade and potentially Ghost Rider and some of these other characters start to mix in, where we see the street level side of Marvel grow and grow and bring back people like Jessica Jones, who we know should be out there.
For those of us who might not know, what are Midnight Suns?
Oh, sure. So that's a supernatural team made up of heroes like there was the Defenders, which had people like the Hulk and Doctor Strange, and then the Midnight Suns had different mixes, but was for the most part Blade and Moon Knight and Ghost Rider, and you would see other characters like Daredevil cross paths with them, or a Luke Cage and a Iron Fist, and instead of doing just a straight out Blade movie, which it feels like Marvel can't figure out, they were talking about potentially bringing Mahershala Ali's Blade together into a Midnight Suns project, which would also include Kit Harington, who was supposed to play the Black Knight, I believe his name is, where he saw the sword at the end of Eternals, and all these MCU plot threads, that Kevin Feige likes to have on the board, like the Charlie meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but will they ever come together? These are the potentials of them sort of becoming a thing.
Yeah, and some people have confirmed, like Oscar Isaac, that they won't return as Moon Knight, that they're done with Marvel, that they're done with Disney in Oscar Isaac's case, and so we'll see what happens there. We're also going to have some new characters. For someone that we adore here at CBR. We've interviewed him several times before. Matthew Lillard is playing an unnamed character who he's referred to as Mr. Charles, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we see him in the trailer, but no real indication about what he's doing.
I'm very excited about it. He's mentioned some kind of stunts. He's mentioned sort of, so we know he's going to be involved in some kind of action, which, hey, it's Daredevil, so every scene is going to be that. But I'm just so curious because his energy is so specific.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll play to type, play against type, what is a Matthew Lillard role in Daredevil?
Ghostface. He could be Ghostface. Just have him just cross over the Scream franchise with the MCU at this point now. Yeah, no, I don't know.
See, my brain did not hear Ghostface. My brain heard Ghost Rider.
Oh, interesting. Well, I would take him as Ghost Rider as well, too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because we haven't even touched on Bullseye, who gets some screen time in this and is a chief adversary of Daredevil. And I love the fact that when we got Born Again, that they leaned heavily into Muse, who is a villain that we, from the comics that we hadn't seen on screen before. But it also feels like Bullseye is not going to be going away because it is Daredevil's chief adversary, which is fine. Well, outside of Kingpin, I mean, Kingpin's obviously his master adversary. There was the one shot too that I thought was unusual, which is that someone's wearing a Kingpin mask and it says like Mayor Fisk underneath it, and I couldn't tell if it was like someone trolling, the Kingpin, or like recording some videos that are mocking the mayor. Of course, there's this also boxing sequence where Fisk is beating the daylights out of some dude, and we do know that they filmed this in some exhibition hall in New York City and made a big deal about Kingpin's charitable fight, like charity fight, where he's so there's a lot of plot threads happening in Daredevil Born Again that we're not familiar with, but a lot to unpack.
That's the way I like it. I want to just go in and enjoy. Like, this is the kind of trailer I enjoy because it just gives me a vibe. It gives me an energy. It tells me just enough like, hey, these characters you like are going to be here. But I don't need to this is more of an issue for films, I know, but like so many trailers feel the need to tell me exactly what's going to happen, and my favorite thing in the world is just to be surprised.
I also do love that, contrary to Wonder Man, which most of you who are watching this episode right now probably binged through the episodes of Wonder Man, Daredevil is going to be a week to week. And I like the week to week. I like keeping everybody on the same spot of the story where we can all kind of discuss the major things that have happened and the huge reveals. And so, we have that to look forward to beginning on March 24th. Marvel is ramping up their 2026, Sierra, and you and I are here for it. We have Wonder Man available for people to watch now. We've got Daredevil Born Again coming on March 24th. We've got Spidey's Brand New Day happening in July. And then the road to Doomsday is
Road
long
to Doomsday
and
continues.
paved with horrible intentions by Robert Downey Jr.
I
Not the
wasn't
man
sure
himself.
who's
I'm sure he's perfectly nice. But I mean Doom. Doom in particular.
No, I got you. I really, with every subsequent word, I did not know where you were going with that. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you want more from us, we had a wonderful interview with Yahya Abdul Mateen, who from Wonder Man, which you can see now. We talked about what you need to know going into Wonder Man. If you still haven't binged it somehow, if you've been able to hold off, or maybe, hey, you had some stuff to do, now's the time. Here, figure it out, and then go on watch that. Like, subscribe, tell us what you thought in the comments, and we're so excited to watch Daredevil with you guys.